a very beautiful saying that Rathe cha Vamanam Drishtva Punarjanma na Vidyate. That is, Vamanam means Lord Jagannath. He is the Vaman, the dwarf. So Rathe, Rath means the chariot. Rathe cha Vamanam Drishtva. If you happen to see the Lord or the Supreme who is seated on the chariot, then that is your last birth. That means you will attain salvation. And it is only after you attain salvation, it is only after you have God realization or self realization that you are no more being born. You cross the limits of birth and death. You go out of the cycle of birth and death. So, Rathe cha Vamanam Drishtva Punarjanma, rebirth, na vidyate. Rebirth doesn't happen or occur. To whom? To a person who has seen the Lord, the Supreme, in the chariot, seated in the chariot. So, there are millions of people on that day, Rath Yatra. So, there were millions of people in the streets of Puri, pulling the chariot. So many of them have seen Lord Jagannath there seated in the chariot. So does it mean that they have all been liberated? No. Then is it a false statement said in the scriptures? No. If one has the belief, if one can fully believe that yes, it is said in the scriptures that if one happens to see the Supreme Being seated in the chariot, then I will be liberated from the cycle of birth and death. I will be having God realization, self-realization, then you will be having it. And what is the real meaning of it? Rathe cha Vamanam Drishtva. Rath means, as I said, chariot. So this body is the chariot. The living chariot is this body. And what is the Vaman? What is the Supreme Being? Who is within us, dwelling within us. The Paramatma, who is also known as the Antaryami, who lives within us. So, if we can have the divine vision, if we can have the realization of the Supreme Being who is seated within this temple, who is dwelling within this living chariot, then you cross the limits of birth and death, then you are liberated. That means when you have God realization, when you have self-realization, when you know yourself, when you come to realize God, then you go beyond birth and death. You are liberated.